Hello everyone. So, we're going on a trip today. I don't know where we're going. I've been packing my camera stuff, as you can see, and Sam is driving us, which is very kind.
Indeed.
Yes, but yeah, my brother's here as well, and Sam just gets it a secret, as she usually does.
I can tell you exactly what what I've told them. So all I've told them is that it's illegal for me to do it.
Which is scary.
Is it scary? Also, what else have I said?
It's not fast. Well, you didn't confirm it's not fast. But I asked, is it fast? And you just went, I won't let you do anything that you're uncomfortable with.
Yeah.
And I was just like, well,
we'll just have to see what happens. That's what people say. That's what people say.
Hello. So we're just over 2 and a bit hours in now, and we're about 37 minutes away by the sat nav. Yeah. I still don't bloody know.
We've been guessing a lot.
Yeah, we've been guessing a lot. Every single brown sign I go past is like, oh, we're going to a railway. Oh, are we going to, like, you know, a field or something?
Was it the heather?
Yeah, the heather. Are we going to the heather? What do you think it is, Rob?
I think it's the zipline roller coaster.
Of death?
Yeah.
Oh, brilliant.
Specifically of death. That's like the added fun.
Yeah, I reckon it's that too. I reckon we're going to go down a zipline and be threshed with bits of, like, chains and stuff. I've just found out that we're going to a place called Keith. I love the name Keith. It's just so funny. Thanks, Sam.
This wasn't intentional, by the way.
What?
This wasn't intentional.
Oh no, but it's called Keith! Rob, it's called Keith! There we go. See, look, it says Keith! Keith! So,
we have
we're
reached
here.
our destination.
We have found our way to Aberlour, which is a... Well, Sam, you've explained it quite well.
It's one of the best whiskies ever made in Scotland. It's my dad's favourite whiskey, and apparently they've got one of the best whiskey tours as well. And yeah, so these two are going to do some of the best whiskey tasting in the Highlands.
For one, I'm excited.
You don't like whiskey though?
I do like whiskey. If it's good, well, if it's good whiskey.
It's single malt. It's whiskey. It's what it is.
It's not just whiskey, it's whiskey. Sorry, I thought we'd finished.
No.
The next surprise is...
Do you know where we're going for dinner?
Nope, I don't have a clue.
Now, I'll give you one guess.
Okay.
Where did I eat while I was doing my...
Oh, the pie place. Pie Minister.
Yeah, the pie and whiskey place. Yay!
Oh. Pie.
We're going to eat there for dinner, if we have time.
Okay, we need to make sure we have time.
Oh, we will make time.
I'm going to go and visit Lady Luck and create some time.
But all it sells is pie and whiskey.
Oh no.
Oh, they're like two of my favourites.
Yeah.
Oh no, that's terrible. I hate this. So much whiskey.
Oh, do you want it? Yeah, earlier. Show me the oldest whiskey. 37.
Here you can all see, and that's because it's one of the only surviving buildings from the original distillery that stood here. There was a great fire in 1898, which again we'll talk about a wee bit later on. But what you need to know at this point is that's very special. It's one of the only surviving buildings from that great fire. The early days to the first people worshipping oak and water on the land, going through to when Christianity was kind of brought across into Scotland, going on to the first recording, or the first written diary recording of whiskey being produced, and then the introduction of the Excise Act, and then kind of the distilleries across Speyside really becoming prominent throughout the area, which is where we're going to come back to in just a second. The barley is traditionally grown down the east coast of Scotland. It's very hard seed. But as I say, down the east coast where the best climate for growing this kind of seed is within the country. What we need to do is we need to malt the barley. We won't malt our own barley here at Aberlour Distillery anymore. Not many distilleries across the country would malt their own barley anymore. It's not economically efficient. It takes up far too much space and requires far too much manpower to do so on site here at the distillery. So we will buy in our barley already malted for us from a commercial maltster. Some of you who may be familiar with the whiskies over on Islay, Lefroy, Ardbeg, Bowmore, what they would traditionally do is they would set fire to peat underneath the malting ice floor. The The smoke from the peat would rise up, drying it out, and therefore giving you peated malt.
I like how that was a marketing ploy, just because Glenlivet was so famous that Aberlour decided to put.
We'll just put it on the end of our name.
Let's just put Glenlivet, which is a very famous whiskey, on the end of ours, so then other people try the drink. I think that's quite funny.
It's quite clever.
And now, because they're all in one, they all are part of one company. They actually are part of the same company now.
As you can see in front of you, we all have 6 expressions on the tray in front of us. Now, before we get going, I have to just a few bits of housekeeping, so to speak. Second expression, if you'd like to take the cap off this, give it a good long nose and a taste for me, please. This is a 15-year-old 100% bourbon cask strength whiskey from Aberlour. 54.5% in terms of alcoholic content, alcohol by volume. We're going to move on to, if you'd like to take the cap off this, give it a good long nose and a taste for me, please. This is a 16-year-old 100% sherry cask strength whiskey from Aberlour. So matured for all the 16 years in 100% sherry casks, up at 59.1% in terms of alcoholic strength. So again, cask strength whiskey. So the Aberlour 10 is a combination of both bourbon and sherry casks. Minimum period of around 10 years before being brought together for what we call a period of marriage. Now, some people, when they think different casks being brought together, that's a blend. No. Spirit is still come from Aberlour Distillery, so it's still a single malt. Bourbon and sherry casks will be brought together. We're never given the exact ratio of how they're brought together, but what we're led to believe is that if you look at the colour, it resembles much more closely to that of the bourbon cask than it does of the sherry cask. And therefore we're led to believe it's heavily bourbon. Aberlour 16, give this a good long nose and a taste for me, please. The Aberlour 16, again a combination of both bourbon and sherry. This time the cask will be matured separately for a period, or a minimum period of 16 years before being brought together for that same 3-month period of marriage. Some of you will still taste more of those vanilla and kind of honey, caramel, sweet influences coming through, but others will now start to taste more of the stronger, fruitier, darker fruit influences coming through. Plums, raisins, things like that. Maybe a wee bit of spice coming through.
We can try this first. That smells the most like the Japanese whiskies.
So the Aberlour Abuna, the word Abuna in Gaelic means original or of the origin, and whiskey is based on how they would have originally made whiskey back in the early days here at Aberlour Distillery. So the Abuna is an undefined by age whiskey. There's no age on this. On average they say it's between 3 and 8, but as I say, you don't know. There could be some 3-year-old sherry casks in there. There could be some 9-year-old sherry casks in there, as well as some 7-year-old. You just don't know in the Abuna. As I say, undefined by age. 100% sherry cask strength, 60.8%, but undefined by age. And that's what we're coming back to. That stigma that's attached, that there isn't anything good about a 35-year-old whiskey that a 5-year-old whiskey doesn't have in terms of taste and essence and flavour.
There's just less of it.
There's just less of it available, and that's why the price is so dramatically different. So it just shows you that there is this stigma attached, and if you put a, say, between 3 and 8, say you stuck a 5-year-old label on the Abuna, the sales would dramatically fall, and that's just due to the stigma that's attached with ages in whisky. So, the point I'm trying to make is whatever whisky, no matter what age that you enjoy, that's the whisky you should drink. Don't be kind of affected by this stigma.
So I wasn't recording what I just said, but anyway, these two need to choose a bottle because I'm going to buy them a bottle and they can't decide between the bourbon or the 16-year-olds. So, yes. Why do you ask the guy?
What would he choose?
Talking through it, yeah.
Well, I don't know what to say.
Your names, all three of the names, whoever names you want, and bottle number, you'll be bottle number 448.
Nice.
Oh, wow.
That little corner there.
Okay.
So we'd be
Well, this is pressure here.
448. And Sam's writing their label.
There you go. So it was the cask type, was the bourbon, wasn't it?
You can write it out for us if you want, since you didn't drink.
By
That's perfect. So now, if you'd like to
oh god.
peel the label back off the label and stick it in the centre there.
Sorry if I do this completely wrong, guys.
That's okay. We might run out of battery yet, so no one would know.
I think that looks
You did that pretty perfectly, actually.
Let's hope so.
And that one just goes across the centre.
Oh, okay.
Are you nervous?
Yes. Oh, I think that one a bit wrong.
Oh, that's fine.
There you
No
go.
personal bottle, so don't do it. And then the last little part is if you fill in the ledger, today's date, your name, and then bottle number 448.
Brilliant.
Brilliant. What do you think, Rob?
I can't wait to drink all of that.
What, by yourself?
So we're now done at the distillery. Did you both enjoy yourselves?
Yeah, I loved it.
Yes, so I think it was really well worth it, worth a 3-hour drive to get here. One of my favourite things you said at the beginning, I've completely forgotten, and that's really frustrating because I was trying to say to myself, remember it. Oh yeah, the big barrels, which I'll show you here on either Phil's picture or my video.
Hey, where does it come from? Why is Glenlivet on the end? Two completely different distilleries.
They were fantastic in the fact that the size of those fermenting barrels, not fermenting, kind of like
They like the wash barrel. No.
not the wash barrels, the big barrels, was that the size of it depends on the type of alcohol you get. So a big bassy barrel would give you a deep alcohol flavour.
Oh, you mean
whereas
the
a really
stills?
the distills, and then a thinner, smaller one would give you a light, airy alcohol flavour, which is really quite interesting to think. Like, just the shape of something when it's used in a process can change the taste of an alcohol, which is really, really quite interesting to me. I found it interesting, but obviously they were talking about that when we couldn't film, because we can't film in there. But yeah, I really enjoyed it, and I didn't actually get to drink any of these because I'm driving, but everyone enjoyed themselves. We got a nice bottle of, do you want to get it out?
Yeah.
Nice bottle of this is a bourbon. I can't see it really, but it's
I recorded it all.
oh
so.
yeah, it's a special bourbon that you can only get in this place, only here. You can't get it in any of the other shop, and it's just bourbon straight because their alcohols
Well, it's their whiskey, but it's conditioned in a bourbon casket like a Jim Beam one or a Jack Daniels one, so it has that sweet taste.
But every other whiskey you get from them is a mixture between the bourbon and the sherry caskets, whereas this is straight just the bourbon casket. So yeah, I really, now we're off to a pie shop where we're going to eat pie and drink more whiskey on their part. See you in a bit. They have ales there as well. Special Cairngorm ales. Oh dear, they're going to be quite drunk on the drive home. Yay! And we have Highland cows. We are in someone's driveway, so we can't be here for long. What's this place like?
This place is very homely.
Yeah?
It's really nice, and the bartender's mad.
Yeah.
But it's great. And yeah, he's just wonderful. So
What did you order?
I ordered a matador pie, which has fish steak, chorizo, olives, tomato, sherry, and butterbeans.
Sounds amazing. What did you go for, Rob?
I got a moo and blue
is British steak, fresh herbs, real ale and Stilton cheese.
Sounds amazing. And I went for the deerstalker. I've actually been here already when I did some surveying around in this area. I had the deerstalker then and I had to go for it again. I know there's so many nice choices to go for, but I had to go for the deerstalker again. It was really, really good. So yeah, we're waiting for those and they're going to be fantastic.
Yeah. It was absolutely delicious.
I completely forgot to vlog them.
It's not a problem.
How was your pie?
It was absolutely delicious.
Good.
If I seem droopy, it's because I'm feeling droopy now.
Droopy. Everyone's sleepy now. We've done a pie, and then we're about to have a nice little shot of whiskey from the list. And then we'll probably head home. And that will be the end of the day. You might video the drive back, because it might be pretty. But yeah, success. Good success.
It was good. It was very good.
Nice. So, was that the one you wanted?
No, he just basically went, right, so I'm going to give you this one. You don't have a choice.
You probably could say if you wanted something else.
To be honest, I trust the guys. He seems like, considering his list of whiskies he's got over there, I consider his opinion to be quite educated.
Do you want to try it?
I mean, this one isn't even on it.
Yeah.
On the list, so.
Yeah, this isn't even on
What
it.
does it smell like?
This is the Tom in Tool.
They've got the 16-year-old.
But this is a 16-year-old one.
That one. Okay. Well, what does it smell like?
Oh. It doesn't smell very strong, which is nice.
What does it?
Can I taste it?
Yeah.
Cheers!
Cheers.
Alright, so you can eat somewhere and I can come get your drinks. Depends what you want. Ale.
That's pretty damn good. I agree with that.
It's good actually.
Several policies.
It's got like, honestly, earlier about the bite being a bit too much.
Yeah.
It's got a bite, but it's also like,
Really smooth.
it's also quite smooth.
Nice. Brilliant. I can give it a smell. But it smells like every other whiskey we've ever actually.
It smells like alcohol.
Montage of Phil's photos. There you go.